It was a last dash across western and northern Arizona. Candidate for Governor Doug Ducey and a contingent of supporters arrived in Lake Havasu on the first stop of a grand tour of the North that later took them to Kingman, Flagstaff, and Prescott. The entourage included Congressman Paul Gosar, Senator John McCain, and other statewide Republican candidates, as well as local GOP candidates and dignitaries. They were greeted by a supportive crowd on the patio of Javelina Cantina.
I always like to say it is wonderful to be in a place full of motivated voters from Arizona. So give yourself a hand. And it's amazing to be here with our future governor, with our future Secretary of State, with our future Superintendent of Public Instruction, two great guys for the Corporation Commission, and of course our current Arizona delegation. So welcome, welcome, welcome to Lake Havasu.
We always hear the opposition calling us the party of no, so I'm going to ask a question. Is it okay to have drug smugglers and human traffickers coming across our border with impunity?
No!
Is it okay for the federal government to mandate our health care?
No!
Is it okay for the federal government to mandate our education?
No!
Then you are in the right place. This is the right place.
Congressman Paul Gosar, who we know and we love, and we're glad you're back in Lake Havasu.
Well, I would say that we're the party of no, K-N-O-W. We have the right solutions, the right ideas, and the right way to get our So K-N-O-W. So, folks, it's great to see everybody. Ron, good seeing you back there in the back, Bearded Wonder. It's great to see everybody out here. This is our challenge. We got to get everybody out to vote because rural Arizona offsets what we see in Pima and Maricopa. So it's important that Mojave and Yavapai come out to vote. I'm looking at the choir. We need to get everybody else out there. So folks, get out to vote. We got a great slate. Let's hold the turf right here from the Democrats. We got some great candidates from our governor who understands the government doesn't create jobs, the private sector does. These are key to the future of this state. So with that, I'd also like to keep it short, but I'd also like to introduce our junior senator, Senator Jeff Flake.
Well, thank you. You look around and see faces that help in every race, every Republican race, and the fact that we have Republicans all over statewide races says a lot for this area and for what you do. So thank you for what you're doing. At this point, everybody that's going to be convinced is probably convinced by now. So it's all about turnout. It's all about getting your own ballot in, making sure your family members that their ballots are in, your neighbors and friends, reach out to everybody. It's going to do it. So great to have Doug Ducey here. We can all see California from here. We'll see where the jobs are coming from. And with Doug Ducey as governor, there are going to be a lot more California businesses just coming across the river right here. So thank you for all you're doing. I'm pleased to introduce the senior senator from Arizona, John McCain.
Well, thank you all for coming out today. Thank you very much. And Paul Gosar, thank you for the great job that you are doing. Michelle Reagan is here. Diane Douglas, our candidates are all here. And of course, the next governor of the state of Arizona, Doug Ducey. By the way, I don't know if you ever heard the story or not about the two inmates in the chow line in the state prison. One of them turned to the other and said, "The food was a lot better in here when you were governor." I can't tell that joke in Illinois, by the way. And I also want to talk about, just for a second, my really great friend who's done such a great job in the United States Senate. And of course, he is a very handsome young man, as you know. In fact, he was voted the best looking member of Congress. Did you know that? Did you know that? Huh? You agree? Huh? I've said 10,000 times, if I looked like Jeff Flake, I'd be President of the United States today. So, and after I lost, I slept like a baby. Sleep 2 hours, wake up and cry, sleep 2 hours. My friends, it is. Let's have a little straight talk. We've got a lead here in all these races. We've got a lead. But that lead is not something we can take for granted. As Jeff just said, we got to get out the vote. Mojave County is the key to any electoral victory in the state of Arizona. Anybody who looks at the demographics, if we get out the vote in Mojave County, we win. If we don't, Mojave County has been the bastion, frankly. Mojave County, Yavapai have been really two of the most important counties that we have, and obviously this beautiful place here is where we have such a strong Republican base. So I hope that between now and tomorrow you will call all your friends, call our veterans, call your mother-in-law, even your mother-in-law, we need her too, and make sure that we get our vote out. I believe there's a lot at stake here, my friends, and I'd just like to say briefly, our state has not recovered from the 2008 economic collapse the way that we had hoped that it would. A lot of it had to do with real estate, a lot of it had to do with a lot of things. But this is a governor who knows what business is all about, what free enterprise is all about, what leaving government, forcing government to leave the citizens alone. This is a man who succeeded in the free enterprise system. This is a man who, as our state treasurer, understood the fundamentals of our financial situation. And let's be honest, we're going to face some challenges, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, what I say to you, here is the next great governor of the state of Arizona, Doug Ducey.
Thank everybody for the great turnout here. You know you're always going to get that when you come to Mojave County, and I'm grateful for that. And I want to thank Senator McCain and Senator Flake and Congressman Gosar for being here today and rallying the troops here with one day left, and to Kelly Ward and Sonny Borelli and Brenda Barton for getting everyone out here. I mean, this is a team effort. We've got 1 day left in this campaign. You know, and we started in February when we kicked off, and we went through a tough primary. It couldn't have been more competitive with more high quality candidates, but that's how we do it on our side, right? I mean, this is the first open seat for governor in 12 years, and we have been talking about the issues that unite Arizonans. We have talked about kickstarting our economy. That's not a partisan issue. We have talked about restoring K-12 education to greatness. That's not a partisan issue. That is something you do in service and when you lead a government. And I am looking forward to working with you on that. I want you to know on the cover of today's Wall Street Journal, there's an article somebody showed me as I was just walking up the stairs that it said, it looks like there's a Republican breeze blowing. The question that's left to answer, is it a win? Okay, and what happens here, what happens today and tomorrow can turn this to a wave election. And we have a great slate of candidates here in the state of Arizona. We need to get Michelle Reagan elected as Secretary of State. We've got to have Mark Brnovich as our Attorney General. And I'll say, as the sitting state treasurer, I'm very proud that Jeff DeWitt has no Democrat competition for state treasurer. And there's a reason, because they knew that Arizonans would not trust the Democrats with our money. And if we're not going to trust the Democrats with our money, let's not trust them with the education system. Let's elect Diane Douglas. And if we're going to be a great quality of life place to live, we have to have affordable and abundant energy. We need Tom Faries and Doug Little to be elected to the Corporation Commission. So call your friends and neighbors, Facebook friends, email addresses, church members, stake members. We really need to get the vote out. And if we get the vote out in Arizona, we can sweep across the board and we can have a great next 4 years. But we really need to do that. And if we do it, we can celebrate a great victory tomorrow night on November 4th. Thanks for all your help.
vote. That's the message you heard today. We got to get out to vote. I agree. Call everybody and tell them to vote. And if they're unsure of who to vote for, you know now who to vote for. So again, let's thank everybody for being here today. Let's show everybody what Mojave County can do and how we can make a difference. Thank you all.
Again, the group hoped to help spark a large turnout for today's midterm elections. Please take a moment and vote. The future is in your hands. Jim Matthews, Havasu Video News.
We need